How are you and your partner dividing up parenting and household duties? Consider all the child rearing, all the administrative tasks, all the household tasks that have to be done. Generally, a great majority of these fall on the women in the household. Our partners are often quite happy to help us when we ask them to pick up the laundry or do something else, but generally that mental burden falls on the women. So this can be exhausting and it can just be quite annoying. You feel like you're nagging all the time, and that's just not nice for anybody. But it doesn't have to be this way. So imagine, instead of always delegating to your partner, asking them to help out with this or with that, you actually divided up tasks. So instead of just asking your partner to fold the laundry or to pick up the groceries or to pick up the kids from daycare, why not divide the tasks so they know which ones are theirs and which ones are yours? That way you're responsible for your duties and they're responsible for theirs. So there's no micromanaging needed in this case. You can decide how and when you want to do your tasks, and they can decide how and when they want to do theirs. So that way the invisible load is reduced for you, and it's spread between both of you, and everybody knows what their responsibilities are. So consider how you can actually do this. How can you actually divide tasks with your partner? What I did with my husband was we just looked at different tasks that we were doing. You can write this down if you want. That's a great way to do it. Just write down like all the household tasks, all the administrative tasks, all the parenting tasks. Write them down. So this can be like getting the groceries, it can be meal planning, it can be creating the meals, it can be cleaning up the kitchen after the meals, getting kids ready for bed, getting kids in the car in the morning, who's driving them to daycare, and the list can go on and on. It can even be like who's paying for rego for your car, who's paying the electricity bill, on and on and on. So write down as few or as many things as you like. I personally started with only a few items just to make it less overwhelming, but you do what works. So then you have this list, and then you and your partner look at it and you each pick one or two items that you're like, yes, I prefer to do that. So for me, I like making the meals. I don't mind doing laundry. So those are two things that I've taken on. And whereas I was driving the kids to daycare quite often, and I just found it, I didn't like it. I found it really hard getting the kids in the car in the morning. Drop-offs were tricky. I ended up staying there for ages, and I just don't love being in the car either. Whereas Luke likes being in the car. He likes chatting with the kids, listening to the radio. He finds getting them in the car and drop-offs like quite easy. So he took on that task and I let that one go. So we know that he's dropping off the kids, and we know that I'm making the dinner. So then in the morning, we don't have to ask each other, okay, well, who's dropping the kids off today? Who's making dinner? We just know. I don't worry about how he does it. He doesn't worry about how I do it. They just get done. So think about how you can do this with your partner. Can you write a list of a few things that are done, ideally daily or weekly, and then just pick a couple and have them pick a couple and go from there. And a really, really key part of this is letting go and resisting that urge to nag, to remind, to critique how they do their job. It's going to be different how you do it, and that's okay. Our way isn't necessarily perfect either, but a really, really important part is just letting go of that task. It's not yours now. It's not your responsibility. And the more that you give your partner that freedom to do it their way, the more likely that they're going to enjoy it and continue with it. So I'd love to hear what you're dividing, or if this resonates with you, if it's something that you're already doing or something that you think, oh, this is a good new idea to reduce that mental load. So let me know what you're doing or what you're going to do.